So when should I pop certain cooldowns, whether it be offensive or defensive? Well, the whole point of cooldowns is to get the most value out of them. So when exactly would I be getting good value out of my cooldowns? Well, I mean, if you're a demon hunter in this case, if you're able to have consistent uptime on the enemy, right? I mean, if you're not able to have consistent uptime on the enemy, then there's no point in popping them. Then they're just going to go to waste, right? Usually your cooldown windows are about 10 to 20 seconds, depending on your class. For defensive cooldowns, is it a smart idea to pop your major defensive cooldowns, say your 3-minute cooldowns, when your enemy team doesn't have any offensive cooldowns up? No, you're not going to get any value from that. You just waste them, and they'll see it, and they'll laugh, and they're going to pop everything, and they'll kill you probably like in a stun or like a silence or whatever, right? That's why I think that it's important to have like the different knowledge of all the classes, right? After you play so many arena games, right? I mean, you're gonna know more or less like your win conditions, what you can live, what you can't live, and if you play more than one class, that definitely gives you an edge a bit, because you'll be able to see like when they're like doing whatever, right? An easy one is like if a paladin pops Avenging Wrath, right? Wings. If they do that, I mean, you better run or somehow slow them, right? Because if not, you better run, slow them, crowd control them some way. If not, if you're next to them, I mean, you're most likely gonna die. That's just like a fact. Now, if you have bad mobility, like if you're, say like a priest, right? Okay, then you might be able to take 1, maybe 2 hits, depending the gear difference, right? If you're overgeared compared to them, if they're overgeared compared to you, if you guys are about the same, I mean, there's another variable. There's a lot of variables like in Arena that not too many people really take into consideration, right? Typically the variables are class makeup, right? That's the obvious one. There's just some classes that hard counter other classes, right? Are they still winnable in that situation if another team like hard counters you? Yeah, there is. Because to some degree there's like some, again, game knowledge and a little bit of skill, right? Not a whole lot, but there is some. Some people like downplay it and just say like, oh yeah, you press one button and you win. I mean, you can press one button, but if you don't know how to use that button properly, I mean, then like, I can pop wings and I can just stand there. I can pop wings and I can not get any uptime on the enemy, right? I mean, there's not going to be any. You have the right idea to go after the person, but you're not getting any value from popping wings. That if you're constantly slowed and you don't have freedom up or any other way to get out of it, right? Another variable would be gear, right? Some people put a high emphasis on that. Too much, I think, in my opinion, because some games, I mean, are winnable. Is there a point where if there's a huge discrepancy, like Shadowlands numbers, right? Like 170 item level versus like a 246 item level. Yeah, I mean, unless you got like another 246 item level as your arena partner, right? I mean, realistically, I mean, you have to have like the most perfect win conditions, right? Whether it's like dampening, whether it's the other person goes I mean, there has to be something huge in order for that to win. But assuming you guys are both like 170, right? But is it winnable? Yeah, it'll just take like forever. Have I won games like that? Yeah, but we're in the arena for like 10 minutes, and to be honest, it's not that much fun. It's fun at first for about the first like couple games, but afterwards it's not fun anymore. Trust me, it's not. I've been that guy, and you get some hate whispers, and it's funny, but at the end of the day, I mean, it gets old after a while. Another variable would be, in a way, I mean, the arena map is kind of like a variable, kind of isn't. There's some maps that favor, and they don't necessarily favor per se, but I mean, they do help out. So I mean, like the terrain, right? If I'm on Blade's Edge Arena and I just happen to be a priest, right? And I verse like a double melee or something, right? Like a say like a warrior, or not a double melee, but like a warrior and like a healer, right? Or like a paladin and a druid or something, right? Then in that case, I mean, if you want to be able to stop, say, the paladin on his wings, then you can mind control him, right? You can, if he's attacking your teammate, you can literally just mind control him, drop him off the bridge, and when he's falling off the bridge, assuming he had wings up, right, he has to spend, I don't know, an extra 3 seconds. He has 3 seconds less of uptime on my teammate, right? And he's 3 seconds less of utility he's gaining from his wings, right? So what can happen in those 3 seconds? My teammate can get a big defensive cooldown back. My teammate can get their own stop, like a stun, a silence, a disarm, a slow, some type of movement so they can get away. They can go hide, they can go do whatever, right? Something to where that enemy player is not having any uptime. So that's a situation. Another situation would be, usually if you play a warlock, you would know this one, a destruction warlock specifically. I guess any caster really, but I'll mention Destral warlock specifically is like the Dalaran sewers, right? The Dalaran sewers arena, you have the boxes, and I mean, what people are going to do, they're just going to hide behind the box, and they're not really going to let you get line of sight on them. And in that one, it's like, it's easy to outdo, right? I mean, you can force them to play like downstairs, right? Not on the platform. You can try and play away from the boxes, but typically, I mean, they're going to be playing boxes the whole time, and that'll be annoying. You can death coil them out to a stun and bolt them. If you're playing with someone that has a stun, like druids or something, like a double stun, like a feral druid or a resto druid with a feral affinity, they can rake stun into bash, right? And I mean, that's gonna give you plenty of time to be able to get your bolts off and potentially get a win, right? Again, you'll have to have someone that has like back-to-back stuns, so that way they'll stay in your line of sight of your chaos bolts. Another map, say like a big map like a Tolvaron arena, you have what, like 3 pillars there? 3 pillars? Is it 3 pillars? 3 pillars, but the map itself is like pretty big. So if you're a class that kites a lot, say like a resto druid, a mage, some type of caster, I mean, that's going to help you out. You'll have like a wide open space, not only to attack your opponents in, right? You can stay in the middle, and you can pretty much force them out, right? That'll help you a ton. What else? Those big open maps are just good for casters, right? And for classes that have to kite. The other team will try to hide behind a pillar, but say it's a melee after you. You just play back and you fall back and you push back in, right? I mean, you push and pull, right? That's what you do in those type of maps, any map really. And then you'll start to fight. If you look at like the high ranking dudes, right? I mean, you'll see it a bit. They all like stand and then they hide back and they go back, and it's like a constant push and pull like that. What else? trying to think of other variables. I talked about gear. I talked about the map. I talked about the class makeup. Value. We're talking about value of cooldowns too. This is something like if you're a warrior, right? And say you're going up against like a mage, and things you can do as like a warrior, right? They give you like value. Say you're about to get sheeped, right? The mage is casting sheep on you. I mean, you can pop reflect 1. I mean, that's one thing. You can blade storm. You can blade storm like I don't know if you call it like defensively, and you're immune to CC when you're blade storming, right? If you get rooted, like if the mage casts like Frost Nova, or if you're versing like a druid and the druid casts entangling roots on you, if you save Avatar, if you're playing Avatar, which most likely you should be, Avatar breaks root effects. So if you're nowhere close to like DR on roots, I mean, and you're going after them, they don't have any defensives, you can save Avatar for when you have all your stuff up, and it breaks you out of roots, and you just go after them. It's a one-time thing. You're not immune to root effects, but it definitely helps you stay mobile and maintain uptime on your enemy. What else? Values from cooldowns. I mean, if you trinket nothing, I mean, I don't know, you can fat finger your trinket. I mean, I've done that. If you're a paladin, and when would you bubble? If you're about to die, right? I mean, it's depending also on knowing your enemy, your teammates like cooldowns, if they have any way to save you. Your bubble is like your last resort, really. And I mean, if you press it when the enemy team only has like some of their cooldowns up, but not all of them, I mean, that in a way, I mean, you can still die, yeah, but the damage will be manageable if they don't have all their main offensive cooldowns up. So you don't necessarily need to bubble. A high value of using bubble would be when you're really about to die, you got nothing else. If you're back-to-back CC'd and your teammate's about to die and they're like at 30%, 20%, and you're nowhere near like DRs, bubbling there is good. That's like a good bubble because you'll be able to save your teammate, right? Hopefully. That's the whole point of it. It's acting like a trinket and like a last resort. Demon Hunters, if you're just locked down and say you're versing like a monk, like a Windwalker monk and an arms warrior, the warrior throws down his Kyrian spear. He has Avatar, Warbreaker. The monk has his brew. He's got all his images and whatever else they do. And he's doing like all his damage and stuff. You can trinket the sweep, trinket the bolt, pop Nether Walk, and run away. Nether Walk increases your movement speed by 100%. And you can even soul shape and you go faster, right? The movement speeds stack. Similar to, say, like a Holy Priest popping Fade and the Angelic Feather. That's like a defensive way you can run around, kite warriors around pillars or something, some type of melee. It stacks just like that. What else? That's all I got right now. I mean, there's a bunch of other things. I just can't think of them right now. If there's anything that helped you guys out, leave a comment down below. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe. I want those subs. And leave a comment and share it, like it, do all that cool stuff. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.